was Aretha Franklin, Sparkle. So, yes, family, we are sleepless in every state, East Coast, West Coast, Central. I am sleepless on YouTube, and I had to come in because, I was obsessing with the Sparkle energy and all the anti propaganda intended to defray you from experiencing the waves. So I wanted to get into the West Coast. You actually are okay. West Coast, you're probably not even used to me coming on this late because it's kind of like a normal late night for you. South Kakalaki's in the house was good. You saw Sparkle, then I came on. It's remember the wave is sentient. So even though you think that the wave is something separate than you, it's actually incorporated with you in your consciousness. So it interacts with you on a metaphysical level, a spiritual level, and a biochemical level. So I come here to blow spots because hey Oz, you're up. I had to play Oz. You could appreciate D-Town. I'm playing Aretha Franklin's Sparkle. It's an appropriate song. It's 2 a.m. in Brazil. Oh my gosh, and you can't sleep. Listen, we're gonna hang out for a couple of minutes, and we're gonna talk about the anti-propaganda against the anti propaganda against the sparkle and against the sparkle wave and the event. I came upon some interesting correlating facts that kind of put some suspect propaganda. I suspected some propaganda that was purposefully meant to kind of defray you from experiencing the full-on wave. So we're going to get into that. So tonight I was thinking to myself because I want to do this Best Life Challenge, and Best Life is just basically I want to do a Best Life Challenge where I'm just incorporating all the frequencies because eating has become terrible right now. If any of you know, food has become almost like an anti to your body. Everything other than, we could talk about Rudolph of Germany too. We'll get into that conversation too. Thank you, Kay. Hey, ATL. Yeah, food has become I know it's 1 a.m. Oz. It's really difficult to eat. Like even now, like my little one had a tummy ache and we ate something so basic. And I just feel like food, regular, what you consider to be the food, the staple of the matrix, has become so anti to our body. And it's now becoming more prevalent for those who aren't necessarily usually have gastric issues to have like really bad issues with food. So my appetite is like I think I discussed this last time. I want to eat. My mind says to eat because I've been conditioned to always want to eat because I'm a fluffy, but my body is reacting anti to all these foods that probably are just geoengineered and genetically modified, even if they say they're GMO free. You know what I mean? So it's all that. It's getting worse, right? So I was looking at this. Everybody has been texting me and sending me and asking me specifically my opinion on this celery fast, this celery juice. So I was like, finally, I had a moment tonight, and I was sitting down on the couch, and I was looking through all these videos and testimonies about the celery juice. Now, mind you, I've fasted before, and some of the base of my juices, I'd add like celery, I add pear, I do sometimes pineapple. I love, love, love Swiss chard. I do that. I do ginger, and I add a little key lime or lemon to my juices, and that would be my juices, like my green fast juices when I was juicing, right? So I did that for a couple, for when I was fasting. I'd add celery. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't make it like it was the only thing I'd put in my juices, but I would add it to it because it's good for it's an anti-inflammatory. So anyway, so I'm looking at this fad, and I haven't done it, so I never want to follow a trend because I know if it's trending and it's being propaganded by the Matrix. And I also looked at the gentleman who is called Dr. 2000. What's his name? Do you guys know his name? The one that made this whole Dr. What's his name? Do you guys know his name? He's called Dr. something. He's the one who came up with the celery juice thing, this fast. Can anyone? Oh, I like honeydew. I feel for some honeydew. Oh, medical medium. Thank you. Thank you, Renata. Thank you. Medical mediums. That's his name. Medical medium. So some of these stars were talking about him, so I had to check him out. So I looked at his page, And like I said, I like to research everything and I want to get testimonies. And when I looked at him, I'm just saying not to judge, because when you look at me and I'm fluffy, you can't really say much about, people would think, okay, she can't talk about weight and fitness, but I am quite fit, even though I'm fluffy. So I took a look at him. I love cantaloupe. Don't get me started. I gotta stay focused on his video. I don't have snacks because I'm trying to be appropriate after these times. It's not appropriate to eat right now. So I looked at him and I kind of felt a certain kind of way. And this is my first eye picking up on something about him. He seemed a little off, right? He looked a little Martian-like, which is okay because I'm in the line of ETs. A lot of people are saying ETs to me, so it's not really odd, but just I felt a little funny. Like, I can't say I trusted him. Something about him made me not trust him a little bit, though he seems really, really adamant on and I also appreciate that he's big into naturopathic medicine. He's a big holistic promoter. I did appreciate that, so I have to be careful judging someone on physicality, but I do have to follow my first mind. And when I see someone that's a little off and their frequency is off to me, I almost think that I shouldn't trust everything that they denote. So let's fast forward. So I went to Hey T Unique. I went to follow all the wonderful testimonies of everyone who's been doing this 10-day, 20-day celery juice fast. And I listened to each one. And I noticed the general consensus. Now, family, tell me, hey, Al Summers, big up to you. Listen, I noticed something odd. So I'm looking at all the testimonies and I noticed something odd. Okay, so now I have to put, everything is relative. So I have to put things together. So I'm saying to myself, one of the notable things with this event physiologically is gastric issues. Now, we take it as gastric issues because we have so many unhealthy eating habits being based in a matrix that is chemicalizing and trying to insert all these anti-human foods in our nutritional outlet. That of course we're going to have all these gastric issues. But one thing I noticed is that the celery juice, the first thing that they all denoted is that it gave them better clarity gastric-wise. Like they felt better. Like they felt like they could just eat their regular food and drink this. So that was a red flag. Ding, 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 ding. Because, remember family, we're going through the event and we've already denoted part of the event is keeping us from eating food. So our bodies are reacting in the way that is appropriate to deter us from keep consuming foods that are unhealthy for us, obviously. But if we take an elixir that bypasses that feeling and allows for us to eat anything we want still, but still have a more comfortability gastric-wise, we may just continue to eat like garbage pail kids and continue to eat and allow this elixir to numb or mute some of the side effects of the healthy gearing us towards doing healthy eating. So I felt like this was a little suspect, but I can't take that. Okay, another side effect, which could be a good thing, is that people who did the counteractive, right? Hey, Selma, you're up with us. We're late nighting tonight. We're gonna chat it up tonight. Everybody's up tonight. These are the sleepless in Seattle people tonight. I can't sleep. None of y'all can sleep. We're just going to talk it out. So another thing that I noticed was notable is the celery juice allowed people to sleep for numerous hours, much more hours than notably they would do. So one young lady said she was, she wasn't an insomniac. She maybe slept about 5 to 6, 7 hours a night just because she liked to work out and so on. But when she drank the celery juice and she was eating her regular food, she didn't stop eating her regular diet, she was able to sleep even up to 13 hours. So I said to myself, oh really? So one of the things that we're experiencing with the event is sleepless nights, and we're experiencing with the event gastric issues that are deterring us from eating foods that are going to cause us problems. But apparently, with this new promoted propaganda new fad, celery juice, it seems to be an elixir that mutes all of the things that are going on with some of the things, the triggering motivations for us to change for the event. I thought that was really interesting. He has a free podcast. I think we would like his books if you read them. No, I think he has some things. I think no. Let me say this with the doctor who was on there. I don't think he's a quackadoodle. I really don't. I think he's actually a good. He has good advice. I saw other things that he was talking about. I felt they were really, really relative. I don't want to take away from this man's work. I always want to say, sometimes we can be used by the system for a reason. Sometimes ETs will telepathically use a certain person who they know people will listen to because they have a lot of credentials and motivate them to do something that is in hamperment of, I made that word up, hampering something that is positive for the masses. They always do this. So remember, if anything's being promoted during a time where there's a whole lot of energetic waves and solar flares coming on, I always look, I have a side eye, so I'm always looking in the other direction. Because if they're motivating him and this is like a fad, you already know they only promote things that are beneficial for them. They aren't beneficial for us. If they were, they wouldn't put fluoride in your water, they wouldn't vaccinate your children, and they wouldn't chemtrail our skies. So these are not beings that are for the populace or for the betterment. I heard it. Okay, I continue. I'm so loud. So these are not beings that are for the betterment of the planet, the people living on the planet, or for the animals coexisting here. So I just take that as if something is being promoted and it's being promoted by the masses in a bigger way, I always say that there's an agenda behind it. And I just happen to be a researcher. Remember, I studied and I worked in heredity and genetics in a laboratory, my geeky self with my thick glasses. Yeah, I wear glasses. And I used to sit in a laboratory, so I'm big into research. So I'm really quite sane and really, really astute when it comes to putting things together and fielding them together to get a good consensus of something. I'm really masterful at that. I give myself credit in that way. So it's not like I'll just be paranoid in one direction and not really be sensible or have some logic to something, okay, logical reason. But I noticed that the things that we're experiencing during this event happen to be the same things that are opposite of what we're experiencing, what the celery juice is making people experience. Like I said, I saw people drinking celery. Oh wait, let me hear. Wait, Chrissy's telling. Okay, Nicole's saying, yeah, but he's not promoting it. If Kim K is doing that, I has nothing to do with him. Oh, okay. Not to say he's not being used. Okay, Nicole said that he's not the one promoting it. Okay, I agree with you, Nicole. I definitely agree. I don't know that he was the one propaganding. Okay, let's take that back. Let me apologize for him. Let me apologize to him because I don't want to make him seem like he's being a puppet because he may not. He may. There are other people who are more agenda based than him, and they're probably taking something that because we know Kim K is some sort of insectilian hybrid, some queen, and we know she comes from a lineage of witches. So I'm just assuming, and they're not, I don't want to judge them as witches because witches are just witches, but but I'm just saying I'm just noticing that the celery juice is everything the opposite of what we're experiencing, and people who are drinking it are not fasting on it. They're drinking it, incorporating with their regular meal. So they're not changing their eating habits to incorporate the juice. They're just bringing the juice into their normal habits, and it's making their normal habits go cohesively and normal and actually better. And I just feel like if we're undergoing the event, it would be natural for it to trigger us to do positive things. It's meant to motivate us to stay away from things that are going to hamper us for higher fields of energy to be able to coexist within us. So I personally feel like this is one of many, because we're going to go into other agenda-based anti-event propaganda that's out there meant to deter us or keep us from noticing the cues and hues in the energetic wave that we're experiencing. Okay, so that's one. So, and I would love to know your opinion. Like, give me different aspects of it, because I just listened to about no lie, like 10 testimonies. You know I'm about that light. I listened to 10 testimonies of people, and I also listened to the doctor. And like I said, I don't want to take away from his credentials, because I saw a lot of things that he was talking about, and I did feel in sync with it. Okay, he just looked a certain way that I wasn't trusting about, but that just may be just, he wasn't very warm and fluffy, and sometimes I like a little warm and fluffy sometimes. So let me take back any judgment based on him, but the agenda and the propaganda of it, I am suspect of it, and I'm seeing that the results of drinking the juice is everything that would mute your influences, the events influences on you. Okay? So if you're drinking the juice and it makes your stomach feel better, then you'll just eat regularly. You're not going to change anything. But for all of us who are sleepless in Seattle and we're eating like a regular bagel, and the bagel's making us feel like we're dying, then we're going to stop eating the bagel. Okay? But if you drink the celery juice, you'll eat the bagel and drink the juice. So it won't stop you from unhealthy habits. It's the celery juice thingamajiggy. Okay, so let's go forward. So then there's this other thing that one of the sea stars denoted. We know that it's the sparkling energy. We know that we're experiencing sparkles everywhere. Now listen, family, you thought that it was just a few of us. There are so many Borean. Borean made a video decoding my event video. Big up to Borean. Borean calling. If you've not noticed this sun star, he has a channel. He's really good. He usually breaks down the lunas, like he does gematria, and he gets messages from the ether. He really breaks down Luna's videos. So I'm grateful. He decided to take down and break down the video, and actually my name actually came out in gematria. And what's interesting about that, he was in shock, because he was like, her name came out in there. And I will tell you, family, I made up that name when I was a little girl. So it's the only name. You won't see FleurBrun anywhere, because it was a made-up name that I made up as a little girl. So it's interesting that it came up in a message exactly spelled that way. I thought it was kind of groovy. So big up to Borean, who kind of did the breakdown. But anyway, we're going to talk about the wonderful, Nicole. But FleurBrun is a very brun. Brun is like en Creole. So my family's from Martinique and Saint Lucia. But what it is that brun is not something that someone would normally say. Brun is something that in our culture, in our island, they call you by complexion. So if you're like a copper glaze, they call you brun. If you're very fair with freckles, like my grandmother with red hair, they call you shabine. We'll call by our color. Okay, it's very interesting. It's a different culture. So not many people are from that region. It's more from towards South America. It's the Antilles, the French Antilles. So we utilize our complexion to denote ourselves. So we'll call each other by complexion. Like if you're denoting, like, oh, you say that Shabine woman, down the road or something like that. It's a different way of describing people. So it's a part of my cultural base. So that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't see that name come in that combination, because it's more culturally based with Martinicans. So that's what I'm saying. Many people have never been to Martinique, so they don't know my culture, and they're not adjusted to. We have a very different way of schematically describing things and talking. It's very unique. It's beautiful. I love my culture. It's beautiful. I love my island. So but that's why I named brun, which is copper color. It's more so copper, more so than brown. That's what it's considered. So that's all. Anyway, so we have now one of the sea stars denoted something. Now, she was absolutely right, and I hadn't really thought about it, but I did. She mentioned today on the other video, one of our sea stars, big up to our sea stars, who mentioned they have tons of makeup over the last couple months that have sparkles in it. Listen, she made a completely great point. She said that they've been creating all these different makeup lines with all these different types of cosmetics with sparkles in it. And this has been a preamp. Now, listen, family, she's absolutely right because remember, I bought my gold lipstick with the sparkles in it. I've noticed that they've upped the sparkles and everything, right? The sparkle lips. Remember, I bought that. I love that sparkle. It just dries your lips out, though. That's the only thing I don't like about that lipstick. But it looks beautiful on. Sparkles everywhere, right? So they've been having all kinds of sparkle stuff coming out in makeup lines. Listen, family, they trend things. Remember, they trend things because they have people looking in the future. They have people looking, they have Project Looking Glass where they send people into the future and they know when all these different events happen. They know when everything's going to happen. So they will preempt it. They say, okay, the sparkles are going to come, so we have to make sure that we put something else so they won't notice it. So if you have sparkles all over, yeah, to confuse you, exactly. So if we have sparkles all over people and makeup and so on, the women won't notice that there's sparkles on. They'll be like, oh, I wore that makeup last night, that's why I have sparkles on me. But why are the men having sparkles on them? Why did Borean say he had sparkles on him? Why did Aborazine say he had sparkles on him? Why are all our sun stars who don't have daughters, who don't have makeup, and they don't have women wearing sparkles in the house? Why they have sparkles on them? See what I'm saying? They set this up because they knew that the sparkle event was coming, and they made sure glitter bears. Nicole said this is glitter bears. I love it. Yeah, it's like sparkle crazy, but listen, it's a setup. It's a setup. They purposefully did that. Project Looking Glass. They purposefully did. Now, Project Looking Glass, for all of you who may not be know that. Listen, I'm up late. I feel like I need to drink like 20 gallons of water. This sparkling energy is like putting us in another zone. Okay, so Project Looking Glass was a project. Now it's called something different now, I'm sure. But back in the days, it was called Project Looking Glass, and they would have people that notably had an ability to transcend through dimensions and time. And they would have them, these are people focused. They put you in like sometimes a room devoid of light and gravity, so you sit in like a very a still stasis, and you can actually see into the future at different aspects of different timelines, future timelines. So these people know what's ahead of time. So they know in the future, and if remember, time doesn't exist; it kind of overlaps on top of each other. But for just us having this discussion, I'll just say they look ahead. So if they know that we're going to have a big event, and they don't want you to know about it, and they don't want you to be able to prepare for it, and they don't want you really having any acclimation to it, they will do things. They will propaganda things to sidebar you, to throw you off, to distract you, to make you unnoticed things that normally you would notice. You wouldn't notice sparkles because you have sparkles everywhere. Look at this. Look at this. They're talking to me. AI is all in my phone, family. AI has been, before I did this video, AI is already, listen, that's a whole nother video. I won't sidebar, but AI is telepathically listening to our thoughts, and it is doing things based on our thoughts. So now, you thought AI was just computer linked where you could type things in. No, AI is telepathically listening to your thoughts, and it is talking to you via your computers. This is sick. Sick. I sound muffled. Oh, good gracious. Rebuke the dark of Alice. So yes, so they made the 90s glitter makeup trend. So they brought everything back. So all the glitter's back. They brought it back at a time. Now the glitter event is happening now. It's increasing. Actually, even when my little ones woke up, they had glitter all over themselves, like different color glitter, which was interesting. But the ones that I saw on my thigh the night that I did the show, it was like little tiny glitter things inside. It almost looked like it was embedded in my legs. So it's interesting how they show that. Okay, so we have the celery juice debacle, and I really don't think it's negative. Let me state this, okay? I think the celery, oh, you said, FleurBrun, you had sparkles around you in the video. The video the other day when you were talking to the voodoo guest. I forget. Oh, Dana. You know what, Nicole? That's the night that I talked to Dana after the show and I had sparkles all over my thigh. Thank you for telling me that because I didn't know where the sparkles came from. They were like embedded in my thigh. The next morning they were gone, but then I had the bigger sparkles on my body. It was interesting. Thank you for that. Oh, it's very interesting. So, oh, I want to say this. I don't think the celery juice thing is bad. I actually think it's probably good for you. I know it's good for you, but I'm just saying, whenever they're propaganding something like that, there is a reason for it. And I noticed that with the celery juice, it actually does. It would do things that would make you continue to eat like a piglet. No, just the piglets. You know what I mean? It'll make you keep eating the same way. So if you drink the juice right now, like if we wanted to still eat like we wanted to eat, all we'd have to do is add this juice, and we would be able to eat the same. We wouldn't have this. But because we're not, most of us are not drinking the juice, or we're having gastric issues, which are deterring us from eating garbage. So right now, even though I want to eat, I can't eat those. I can't eat. I forget gluten, wheat products. Oh, you already know that's out the door. I can't touch a bagel, a waffle, and you know I use spelt, and no, it doesn't matter. It's just gone. The wheat is gone for FleurBrun. Wheat said bye bye, peace, out the door. It bothers me. The only thing that I can consistently have is water, and I can only drink it. This is the odd thing. I can only drink it out of my crystal water bottles. Ever since I was pregnant, remember? I can only drink crystal water. I don't like drinking water without it being in glass or with the crystal. The crystal must be transmuting the energies, allowing me to drink the liquids a little better. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. And I only like citrus fruit like now. Like I liked the grapefruit. I really appreciated the oranges. I'm obsessing with oranges. I have pears in the fridge right now. Thank you for mentioning cantaloupe and honeydew because honeydew would be really nice right now. Honeydew, yeah. I have to drink the water, and I have to drink it this way. It's really interesting. I don't want to say it's insane. It's interesting. Okay, so we have the distraction of that, right? So we have these two things that are correlated as anti-sparkle propaganda, meant to disparkle you, or treat sparkles as if they're every day in your life. It's a lie, family. You haven't had sparkles like this. These sparkles are coming from the energetic event wave that you're experiencing right now, that everybody else is experiencing. So treat this as if you're experiencing a metaphysical and amazing transcending wave. That is what it is. Okay. Then we have this big. I'm always hearing like weird sounds. Okay, then we have this huge, big issue that happens in New Zealand. Okay, New Zealand. I haven't done the gematria. This is what Borean might be good at. I haven't done the gematria on New Zealand because probably if we did the gematria on New Zealand, we can find out what number representation of New Zealand is. And we had the shooting in the mosque. Now, we're going to get into Rudolph of Germany family. I hope you're ready. We're staying up late, so anyone checking in, we're going in late tonight. It's FleurBrun After Dark. This is the Can't Sleep event crew. This is the Sparkle. We should call ourselves the Sparkle event crew. The Sparkling Non-Sleep event crew. This is who we are tonight. We got sparkles everywhere. We're experiencing zero food. We are unable to sleep, and we're drinking water. This is the crew tonight. This is our mothership right now. This is what we're experiencing. We're discussing. So, all right. So, Rudolph of Germany. Now, many of you don't know he is a tall white alien. Now, me and Rudolph have had interaction via online for years. Okay, so many of you who know, we've had a weird kind of schematic relationship over the internet with a bout of respect, but of course there's always a lot of paranoia because remember, every ET group, every interdimensional group, every group has their own agenda, okay? So for that reason, why I'm going to bring that up to New Zealand is because it's relative. And you know who called it out first is Rudolph of Germany. So I'm going to go back, okay, family, because a lot of his videos, he took the names off and he left numbers on. This is how clever this being is. He took off the name so that you would only be able to refer to his videos if you knew the time frame and year that he put it out, and you referred the numbers. Only our really big nerdy people had did things like this, but there aren't many people who did this. Okay, so anyway, Rudolph of Germany, roughly a year and a half ago, made a video about the pole shift. Some of you know, because you knew when I was following him, my people, I'm hearing like the wildest sound. Okay, you know, my people are automatically, once I referenced him, they would go to his page. So many of you may have already known that video. Okay, so he referenced the pole shift. Now, he did a couple videos on the pole shift. Now, one of the things I say, because people say, well, what, FleurBrun, why do you just do it as wackadoodles? Okay, a lot of you think he's wackadoodles, and you think he's out of his mind. But remember, Rudolph of Germany was the one who said Donald Trump was going to win. He also made some predictions that nobody else would even think could happen, because there wasn't anybody in their mind who thought Donald Trump would win. But I don't have a problem with him winning. I'm just saying they didn't have a problem. Listen, I didn't vote for Donald Trump, and I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I voted for Jill Stein because she got arrested for trying to get some agricultural laws. Big up to Jill Stein. I love a C-star that's willing to go down for the cause. Jill Stein got arrested for trying to do agricultural things, and I really appreciate her. That's why I voted for her. People get mad that I say I voted. Listen, you got to be in it to win it, and even though it's rigged, energetically, I always make sure that I am making choices. I'm making cognizant choices, because when you start not making choices, then there starts to be issues when beings start making decisions on your behalf, okay? All right, so clit on, both said clit on. Hillary Clinton is the devil. She has done horrible, horrific things in Haiti. You already know I have a personal issue with her. I wouldn't have voted for her. You would have had to slap me to a slab of something and threaten everything in my life. I detest that beast. She is a shapeshifter. It isn't even her anymore. It's probably her biobot. I have a problem with that woman. It's personal. It's very personal. Those Haiti babies, the things that they're doing in Haiti, buying all the land in Haiti because there's a bunch of gold underneath the ground, deterring, and they're the part of the reason why those poor little children are probably having their organs harvested right now because of that beast. Don't get me started on Hillary Clinton, because she molests women. She likes little girls to have sex with. I'm gonna take it back. Okay, I'm gonna take it back. Okay, I'm sorry. Whew. You know, I get a little fiery when I talk about that woman. That beast. I'm sorry. Let me take another drink of water. Okay. Yes, okay. As I part it, when I am venomous, I just, ooh. Okay, so let's go back to Rudolph of Germany. Now, Rudolph of Germany, for some of you who don't know, he has his own channel. It's Rudolph of Germany, the tall white aliens. Okay, there are tall white aliens. I have videos about Congress and people doing reveal videos in the 50s and 40s about the tall whites. They are here. Now, they are not aliens as far as galactic. To my knowledge, regardless of what they say, they are interdimensional beings that come from other dimensions here. They are parasitic in a lot of ways. They have their own formulated agendas. Right now, the Andromedans have a little bit of an agreement with the tall whites, so I'm fairly cohesive. And Rudolph is actually the one who ushered me into the event last year, the Rainbow event. Okay, so I'm giving you just a little background on him. Rudolph of Germany made a video. This is about roughly a year and a half ago. You would have to go on a timestamp and go back. He made several videos, but one particular video. He talked about the pole shift, and he said before the pole shift happens, there would be a World War III. But he didn't just say a World War III. He said it would be a war between religions. That would be the kickoff of World War III. It would be the issue. It would be a war between two religions that kick off World War III. Now, let's pull it back to modern times, okay? I hope stay with me, family. I know it's late. We're staying up. Okay, so let's fast forward to right now, okay? You remember that, Selma? Okay, now let's fast forward to now. Let's go to the shooting we just had in the mosque. We know that there's a whole bunch of like fires being set in every country. You got Venezuela's lights out. They're trying to take over Venezuela. They're trying to take Maduro out, who was cherry picked by what's his name, Chavez, who was given brain cancer and killed by an outer source purposefully. So, and then he assigned Maduro to his spot, and they're trying to take him out, and they try to place this other clone type of being in Venezuela's place so they could take over that country. Now, that's going on. Russia has a lot of beef going on with China, with the United Snakes, starting to cause a whole bunch of separatist issues. They're starting to set up shop all around West Coast, East Coast, North, South. You got the Chinese going in the borders on the South, where Rizing blew the spot that the Chinese were over there on the border, and it wasn't really why. The reason why your president Trump was building the wall wasn't because of the Mexicans. It's because he had word that the Chinese were going over the border. And if you knew, over in San Diego on that border side, there's Chinese jumping over those borders daily. We think they're sleeper cells. Not only that, many of you don't know that over in Jamaica, in the Caribbean, in St. Martin, the Chinese mafia have taken over. They're putting hits on Jamaican delegates and people over there so that they could take over the land. Now, mind you, they're setting up their shop in waterways close enough to strike to America. Now, you know that Cuba has always been in bed with Russia. And if you didn't know, there were two meteor strikes on the same day or around the same time, one in Venezuela and one in Cuba. If you think that's by chance, it wasn't. There were explosions. They said it was meteor hits. It wasn't meteor hits. They were testing, and they were warning them in Cuba and in Venezuela. Those were warnings on the same day. Okay? Now you have this whole new, where else do we have problems? We have the Russians, we have Syria, we have Europe with the Brexit, we have Europe basically caving in. Europe is now being lost to refugees, grown men who have a vendetta, who've seen their grandmothers, mothers, and children die. They're being floodgated into Europe, raping women, killing, pillaging. I just saw a video of like migrant African men sleeping in the middle of, I don't even know where it was, with mattresses. I don't know what city. Someone sent me this video, and I'm still trying to find out what it was. It was mattresses all over the city, and these African migrants were sleeping in the middle of all this row. And then all of a sudden, all these men came out with like bats and sticks, and they're fighting like a war in the middle of the street. I don't know what European country this was. So we got Europe basically just going buck wild. Europe is done. The Queen isn't even going to celebrate her 70 something birthday, which is the 13th, because she needs to get a new body anyway. But that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to bring that in. So yes, we have a war now. The race war, because remember there isn't such thing as race. That's a propaganda. Race was created, that thought of race. There aren't different races, there's different species here. But they will teach you, and they propaganda that because you have a different complexion, that you're a different race. It isn't true. Because if I'm an O positive, and some of my homies that are lunar are O positive, we're just lighter and darker skins of the same species, right? You do know that, right? If we share the same blood type, we're actually the same people, light and dark. Some of us have been homogenized, some of us not. Some have been more homogenized than others. So we're still the same species. The only other species are these others that are cloaking themselves, that are doing odd things, like they look human. They're wearing all kinds of devices on their throats to make them look seemingly human. Some of them are messing with your synapses so that you see them seemingly human and they're not. That's a whole nother conversation, okay? I'm bringing you up to speed. I know I talk really fast. I'm a New Yorker, so you guys should be adjusted to this already. So we have, I just wanted to set up the stage that all over the planet right now, it is like a whirlwind of chaos. In every country, you have tornadoes, typhoons, you got places with cyclones. The whole planet is up in an uproar. And a lot of this is engineered to distract the populace from a wave of an event that is meant to transform us and upgrade us so that we handle a shift that comes every 3,600 years. Okay? So let's go back to Rudolf of Germany. A year and some change ago, he made a video. He said there will be a pole shift. The pole shift, he said, was in 7 to 8 years. We're already to the 7-year mark, okay? So it's about 2026. It's a physical pole shift. He said what they will do to distract you, they are going to kick off a religious war that would last a couple years all into until we hit the pole shift, and people would be so distracted, so disharmonized that they won't be able to really bear witness to what is necessary for them to upgrade and to supersede and get the heck out of Dodge and go to a higher field, or, go to the other layers of the earth that's going into her own ascension process. So kick off New Zealand with a mosque being hit by a neo-Nazi, a Christian, because you take in the aspect that if it's a neo-Nazi, you take in that whole aspect, he's probably Christian, and the Christian hitting another Muslim. Now they're taking away weapons from people, assault weapons. Now people can't even defend themselves if they're there. I personally know that what Rudolph said that year ago, he basically told us that when we see the kickoff of the World War III, that was going to be a religious war, that would be our notable time and sign to start doing what we got to do to make sure we're good. Meaning that you should be out of the mix of all this negative stuff going out. That's why all the conscious community, you have the sea stars fighting and everything. Stay out of that. Stay out of the fights. Yeah, crisis actors. Stay out of all the business of everyone being negative and fighting and, oh, this person's breaking up. Wendy Williams' husband is having 20 million affairs. That is all meant to lower your frequency, distract you. You got R. Kelly always had little girls. He likes little girls that look like little boys. He's a pedophile. You knew that. Why is that being brought into the news right now? Why are you bringing that up 20 years later? That man has been molesting little girls for over 20 years. You're telling me that now it's just now you're bringing it up? It's like you let the man do his dirt, and all of a sudden now, no, it's a distraction. It's absolutely distraction. You are going to have to ante up. What is it? Level up? What's the song? Level up, level up, level up. It's time to level up. It's time to say, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do to make myself, my family, and my consciousness stay in a healthy homeostasis without the negative propaganda, because it isn't your business. If Kathy B is fighting Katie G, what is that your business? You're not personally involved. They aren't your family members. There isn't anything personal that you should bring or feel into that. Let them just do what they do. You can observe, yes, and you can actually maybe, visually see it from a distance, but disallow it to lower your frequency. And try to stay away from these low field videos. Like they're sharing videos right now, which are pissing me off. And I don't really get them on my feed, but people will send them to me independently. Like with the man who hurt the woman, the older elder on the train. I mean, stuff like that isn't something that we should even watch. Not to say it doesn't matter. We should show empathy and we should be protective of our elders. But watching stuff like that is going to, that's trauma. If you see us as women seeing an elder being hit on the train by a man, that traumatizes us. And then we internalize it. And what do you think it does? It hampers your frequency a little bit. And if you get too much of that too often, what do you think? It's going to keep hampering you and lower you to the point where you can be susceptible to negative energy and negative frequencies. The Muslim Brotherhood is being shipped into all West nations. Oh, that's right. Via UN Princess cruise ships to install Sharia law, break down borders, and cause war. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa totally just told you. Thank you, Lisa. You're absolutely correct. When is it that, family, when is it that we've ever allowed grown men from countries that have been destabilized with, like I said, these men saw their mothers' heads blown open. They saw all kinds of negative things. When have you ever seen countries open borders to grown men without children and wives with them? You haven't ever seen that. I had my girlfriends from parts of Europe telling me the heinousness of these men. They're mad. I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but listen, if you kill someone's family in their country and then you let them in the country and you're the country that did all that or allowed it, what do you think they're going to do in your country? You think they're going to treat everybody fairly, or you think they're going to they're going to see you eating your Cheeto, your cup of tea and your crumpets, and they're going to see you comfortable when their family's dead? You're going to let these people in your country? I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying, why do you think your government would allow that? Because they know what's coming, and they don't have a need. That's why I say, get out of the complexionism, because everybody right now is fair game. They don't care about you. Remember Michael Jackson made that video, they don't really care about us. Yeah. They don't really care about you. They all have it. Listen, I tell you all the time, I'm grateful to have had a bird's eye view. All these, quote unquote, they're not elite, all these weak people, because they're weak genetically. They're weak. That's why they have to create all this fake money and fiat and put spells on it, because they're weak. If they were strong, they wouldn't have to put so many spells on everybody. So they're weak. All these weaklings on the top tier political system, all their children are having sex with one another. You go up to the Swiss Alps, they're all hanging out with one another. You have Saddam Hussein's children hanging out with Putin's children. They all, if there was a war, why would they all coincide with one another? Why before 9/11 was what's his name family ushered out of all his family from Saudi Arabia, given on private jets, courtesy of the United States, to go and safely, what's his name, the guy who's that guy? I remember he was like on films all the time. They always show him, and they said he was a radical Muslim. Bin Laden. Thank you, Chrissy. Remember they were playing, oh, Bin Laden's a devil. Why would you? So if Bin Laden's a devil and you want to get him, wouldn't you keep his family here as hostage? I'm just saying, I don't agree with it, but I'm saying, wouldn't that have been something they did? But they were complicit. Why would you take his family and safely extradite them outside the country and privately, and give them goodies and stuff, and comp them in hotels if he was a terrorist? Because it's a lie. It's a lie that they tell you, so that you are demonizing people that you don't even know. You have no clue where they come from. Half the people around the country just want a beautiful life like yourself, mothers, children, grandmothers who have, Muslim women who are living, very, a lot of times very meek lives. They don't have any issue with you. Bin Laden was hanging out, right? Bin Laden was there. New York is, yes, he was hanging out. Come on now. Yeah, What, my sound sounds crazy? Because they were his family. Okay? Fix the sound, it's muffled. You guys are telling me it's muffled. I don't hear that. Does it sound muffled, everyone? Is it sound muffled? Does anyone, you guys are hearing me okay? It does sound muffled? It does. No? Yes. Oh, wow. Interesting. Maybe I should turn off the speaker. Okay. Is it better? Crackly? Okay, some people hear, wow. Well, sometimes you hear that I did disconnect everything, so hopefully you can hear me okay. Okay, sounds fine. Okay, some are hearing it okay. Hopefully it sounds okay. You hear a little crackly? Remember this topic about anti-event propaganda is going to probably cause a little inception. So that's what they do. We kind of have to. Hopefully you can muster it. Maybe I should take this back. Okay, let me take this out. Okay, does it sound better now? Okay, hopefully it sounds a little better. Okay, so okay, sounds better. I just disconnected the wire. Maybe that was the reason why. No, same. Wow. Okay. Hopefully it clears up. I hope it does. Okay. It do sound muffled. Okay. Some are saying I sound okay. Okay. Hey, Jennifer. All right. Okay. So what were we saying? So with Rudolph of Germany, he brought that up, and I did share a video of him today, which I know ruffled a lot of tail feathers. Because I know on Cypher they went on, like they would just, like they tore him a new butt off with Rudolph of Germany because they didn't like what he was stating. And what I was saying when I shared his video today, if you didn't see his new video on YouTube, he actually shared a video talking about AI and 5G and how that would affect us in the future. And he detailed that in the future, 5G would have cars, wireless cars that would have zero accidents, and they would stop for anyone in the middle of the street. But he did say, brown people got up in a roar because he said the AIs won't stop for brown people. The only people they won't stop for is brown people that are under 6'4" or something like that, right? So short brown people would all be hit by the cars because the cars would not be set to stop for brown people. It would just stop for everybody else. So he just brought that up, and he said, but I know people got very upset about him sharing that, but I personally think he was just sharing something that he was privy to. I personally think that it isn't necessarily his bias. I think he was sharing something that might be the case. But to be honest, family, I mean, that doesn't seem too far-fetched. I mean, I mean, AI is not a fan of people that can't be controlled with their mind. Brown people, because of the melanin coats the cells, it disallows for them to be mind controlled. That's why a lot of brown people are controlled by outer perimeters. It's purposefully done because they can't be controlled with their minds. That's all it is, and that's a fact. That's a clinical fact. It's why when I worked in the laboratory, we stripped the rats from melanin, and it allows for us to suscept them. So that's why all the rats have white fur and pink eyes, because we stripped the mice and rats from their melanin to make them more permissible for genetic testing. When we have brown rats or brown mice, it disallows us because their cells are coated with melanin, which disallows for inception. That is a fact. Okay, that is why brown people are controlled by outer perimeters and lunars are controlled by inner perimeters, genetically inside. Okay, so it's all controlled, but one are controlled on the outside and the others are controlled on the inside. So when you hear someone saying that the cars aren't going to stop for brown people, he just mentioned that. I was like, that makes sense though, because those are not controllable factors. AI is all about control. If it can't control a certain people, it won't protect them because it's not going to service them. AI has its own whole other agenda. That's all it is. So when people are like, oh, well, this person, because, they were getting a conversation about races. I was like, this is not a conversation you'll have with me because there isn't any such thing. There is different species of people. But remember, everybody is a slave to a certain degree. Some of us get enslaved on the outside and some get enslaved on the inside, but it's all it's all equal opportunists of control. That's all it is. So when he mentioned that, but he did mention that, and that probably caused a lot of upheaval because they heard him say it, and I personally didn't think it was and I'm not defending him. I don't think it was a personal judgment. I just think he was saying what's probably going to happen. So I just said, watch, don't cross the street without looking both ways. I'm gonna keep doing it where the cars are supposed to stop and not. You think I'm gonna sit there and trust the car just because it's automatically driving and it's not, most likely not the case that it's gonna hit me? No, I will watch all sides anyway, so it doesn't even matter. He also said prepare. Thank you, Kay. He did tell us to prepare, and also he gives us warnings before something kicks off. And I found that it was very interesting that a year and a half ago he mentioned that we would go into a religious war. And at the time he said it again because I'm a little critical of certain things everybody says, including the things I say. Like if I don't know something fully and I haven't really invested time in investigating it, I have to question if it's legitimate just based on not getting enough resources. But when he says that, and at the time I was like, why would religious wars be a kickoff for World War III? There's so many other wars that could start. Why a religious war? But now I'm starting to see the beginning, the preamps of a religious war with the kickoff in New Zealand, with the shooting in the mosque. And also, you're starting to see uncomfortability and a gathering of the Muslims in all the countries. And also, you've got to take Europe in mind, where there's a lot of single Muslim men who are collectively getting together and they're pissed off. So, that whenever you trigger, it's like, they're triggering people to act in ways that would cause upheaval. You know what I mean? They're triggering them. If you bring out like race war and all this race war, go and kill a couple of people of one particular nationality, you're going to trigger people to react. And that's what they do. That's why I say stay out of the business of their business. that is what they're going to do. They have an agenda. They want to kick off a war so they can distract you from being healthy for the pole shift, preparing your family so that you have ham radios like FleurBrun, starting to garden and create your own food. You should be knowing how to make your own like castor oil plants, like all the lotions that you use. You should know how to grow each and every one of the herbs or the oil and make oils yourself. You should know how to filter water. You should know how to basically survive on your own without third parties assisting you. You should be very communal. I mean, these are things that you have a seed. These are things that you should just naturally know how to do anyway because listen, I'm trying to live on a very healthy, cohesive planet with beautiful, healthy, wonderful trees and being living naturally off the land. I'm going to that. I'm definitely going to exist in that way. So if it means that everything has to collapse as far as in society that is unnatural, then I'm okay with it as long as I'm in a safe distance from it and I'm able to sustain myself and my family and my friends. That's all self-sustaining, right, Violet? I mean, that's all it is. I mean, we need to be more communal. So, and oh, that's a, wait, I got another reveal. Hold on. Okay, one more reveal. So I noticed something else. Are you noticing um, that there's a line being drawn in the sand? What do I mean by that? I'm noticing what is beautiful, and I call it beautiful. I know sometimes chaos may look chaotic to some, but chaos can be something masterful and beautiful as well because the reveals are um, priceless, priceless. So I'm noticing that there are reveals online of people and actions of people and people's disposition showing up full blown because remember we're in the age of Aquarius. Rainbow Bridge, yes, right, that's right. Oz, Rainbow Bridge community. I noticed that there is a huge reveal of people's propensities coming out because we're in the age of Aquarius, so everything's coming out of the galactic closet. Everything's coming out of the closet. People who you thought were one way are actually another way. I noticed that, but you know what comes with that? I noticed that I started to see people out in YouTube world who are starting to show themselves in obscure ways. When they started to show up maybe more adverse, I noticed something that I wasn't able to see before, which was beautiful. I noticed that when these people started to show up adverse, like they were showing or revealing something about themselves that was probably unhealthy, that we didn't see before, but now we see it. I started to see a breakaway of people who were following them and people who were staying in that negative field. And it allowed me to get a bird's eye view of those that would be unhealthy for my own interaction. And I could see them fully because they all came out of the windworks when they split. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you guys do. I hope you guys get what I mean. Like there's people showing up adverse. Like they're just showing up with negative things, like things that aren't positive, that aren't enlightening, that aren't in sync with higher frequency. And I'm not saying perfect, always perfect, but I'm saying really, really, really obscene ways. And I couldn't see the ones who would resonate with the negative or the adverse because there wasn't anything for anyone to split with. You know what I mean? Everybody was acting pretty cohesively in one level, so I couldn't really see who was going to join the League of Doom. Okay, but as soon as there was an upheaval and people showed themselves in adverse ways, I saw the ones that were adverse follow the one that was adverse. So I could literally see those who are out of alignment with what I represent or what I feel or what I deem seemingly are party to. So I appreciated that. I think the past Libra moon scales of justice, bring. You were absolutely right. Thank you, Paige. Paige from IG is in the house. Thank you, Paige. I agree with you. It was bringing out the scales. Thank you for that. Justice. Absolutely. So I think it was amazing in that I needed to. You want to see all sides of everything. I was always that type of person, and maybe it's because of my astrological field. I always wanted to, I prefer you tell me that you're the devil than I have to guess it or, imagine it or kind of like surmise it. I want to know what you do. Like, I want to know that you are who you are. And I'm less likely to judge you. I just will keep an arm's distance if you're, obviously if you're, adverse to me or you're unhealthy for my family dynamics or you're wicked. If you're a wicked person, I would like to know so I could keep my distance and also I know what you're capable of doing. I'm okay with that. I appreciate that. But sometimes you're unable to see that if you're not able to, like, if there isn't any upheaval, if there isn't any reveal. But when I saw the reveals online of people acting out of sorts, and I saw people going to one side or the other, I was like having aha moments. I was like, oh wow, okay, I could see. Okay, I see who rocks with that frequency. I see it. I'm not judging it. I see who rocks with that frequency. I know those people now. I know what they represent now. Okay, and then I also know those who are lighthearted, who are very, very nature based, very balanced in the system of, of everything that's showing up. So I appreciated it. Did you see Borean calling video he did on? Yes, I did. I did. Deborah, I did. Yes, I was amazed. I was amazed. And I was telling everyone earlier in the video. I said it's very interesting that FleurBrun, which is my name, which I named myself as a little girl, was actually a name that showed up in Gematria, which was interesting in the code itself. It didn't change. It kept my name, which is very, very interesting, very intriguing. I was very dumbfounded by that. It's just very intriguing to me. So I really appreciate it. Big up to Borean. I would like to have him on the show. He's very intriguing. He does really great reveals. I really love his breakdowns into gematria codes. It's very unique. So I would love to really have him on the show. Maybe I'll have him on the show. It'd be fun. Right, Selma? Yeah, that'll be fun. I remember I'm having. Listen, family. I am this month or two. I'm doing tons of interviews. I'm interviewing people almost every week. So remember, before I just do the show, now I'm interviewing people. So you're gonna meet so many masterful people. There's another person who's coming on, and hopefully she'll make it for Thursday. But she's gonna blow your socks off. I, I won't even. And then there's another person after that that's gonna blow your socks off. I'm going to interview the most masterful. It is C Star. It is the C Star Recollection Crew. I am bringing every masterful C Star on this platform because I am all about the sisterhood. I want us to um, um, I want us to really come collectively together. I want us to start to feel together in a more cohesive way. And if we keep each other from a distance, I think it's unhealthy. For what's your take on the Cobra person that's giving intel as well? Seems suspicious. What Cobra person? Search. Who's that? Who's the Cobra person? Who's that? I'm not aware. Do I know? Who's the Cobra person? They want all his fans to hate him. Cobra is. Some people don't like this Cobra. The wicked all carry the same energy. They do. Cobra from the portal update site. Um, Give me the. Okay, thank you, Search. Give me the link so I can check them out. Yeah, I'm interested. I might know them already. Sometimes I'm not good with names. Equal site up. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out just to see what that's about. I'm always interested to see what's going on in that arena. Psyop. There I went. Cobra is part of UFO community along with Corey Good. Oh, well I know Corey Good and David Wilcox. I've never heard of Cobra. Michael Jackson fans, yes, because he knew. You're welcome. Please tell us what you. I will definitely. Cobra's been compromised. Oh, some of you already know Cobra. Okay, I didn't know him before he was compromised, and I don't know him that he is. He's very suspicious. Well, we'll find out. It's good for us to all see it from a different angle because it's good for we'll share each of one of our opinions because I may see something because I don't really know him, so it's kind of good because I'm raw, like my mind is like fresh, so I don't have any I don't really have anything telling me really what he's about. So when I see him, I can probably get a good consensus of his frequency or what he's what's going on with him. You have to be mindful. The entire internet and all these different platforms have been covertly infected by agents, governmental agents. They all, every community, the UFO community, the conscious community, the love and light community, they have all been infiltrated. They were purposely, I personally think they were all created by the same source. That's my opinion. Why? Is because I'm in the UFO community, right? And remember, the UFO community is kind of, it's big, but it's small. Like, it's the same names that come up in the UFO community. It's not, there aren't really any new people that come up. It's rare. So it's usually the same circle of people. You know that there's something wrong when they isolate, well, they won't have any new people with new intel. They keep it totally in the same circle and talk about the same things, or they create things and manufacture things that others are not solidifying on the outer perimeters. Only people on the inside, like the space. I was going to make a whole video on the space, what is it called? The space station, what is it called? The space program. On the space program, which I personally think is a whole bunch of BS. This is my opinion. Why? Is because I know from how I've had contact with other beings, and I'm really astute in the ether, because many of you meet me in the ether. I'm masterful in that realm. That's when many of you really come to me. I have that is my playground up there. There isn't any one of those Corey Good, Wilcox. You know who I saw up there though, which is interesting. And don't judge me on this. I saw Nature Knot up there. I did. I've seen Nature Knot up in the upper realms. There was another character I saw. There was somebody else. So why that's a little confusing is because I judge him. But what it lets me know is that what he has shared to a certain degree has been positive. It's just he's not well. He's not a well creature. So I saw him up there. But I haven't ever heard from the Andromedans or any Aquarians or any of the Zetas or anything about Corey Good or Wilcox. Wilcox actually has a negative connotation, a taste in the Andromedans' mouth. Why is it that they're the ones basically rodeoing the whole ET community, but they're the least that others from the outside perimeters are having interaction with, and these are contactees or abductees? You know why? Because they aren't real. Okay, and I personally think that they make up a lot of things. Okay, maybe not everything. I don't want to say that because it's not true. Everybody has context to their own degree. But I personally think they were placed in these positions because they are agents, governmental agents that are meant to share information, like give you some truth and then a lot of disinformation. It's just how I feel. Okay, and I'm not saying I'm better because I'm a certain kind of contactee. Everybody has contact to a different degree. The way that I have contact will be different than you. Okay, depending on whose line and lineage you come from, depending on what starseed group you're coming from, depending on what frequency you rock with, your interaction with ETs, galactic, interdimensionals, or interterrestrials will be totally different. So I don't want to judge them based on saying that I think everything that they say is lies. But from my experience, and I'm pretty healthy in this way, there hasn't been any interaction with Corey Good or David Wilcox, and that means something. That means that they aren't what they seem. Last thing Cobra said. Last thing Cobra said that got me alerted was that these Palladians think that we are monkeys. There's a monkey thing again. I don't know what that monkey thing. Well, I mean, listen. Primates are pretty smart. They don't go around killing trees and killing animals for fun. If we're going to be compared to monkeys, I think there's a compliment, because if we're going to be compared to the mankind who thinks it's okay to murder animals for sport, who've deforested half of our planet, who have pretty much junked up all our oceans and toxified our oceans. These are the same beings. These mankind that have colonized the entire planet and have ruined every tribal group that they come in contact with. So if they consider us to be monkeys who are healthy, who have good community sensibility, who eat pretty healthy and astute, especially the gorilla, then by all means I'll be called a monkey all day. Monkey see, monkey do. Let us be monkeys then, because primates seem to have more sensibility and more love for the planet than a lot of mankind. So if he wants to call everybody monkeys, then I'll take that as a compliment. All I need to do is hang upside down by my tail, and I'll be more cohesive. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times, like I said, and that's just me coming from the ET and community, because again, a lot of times, because initially when I remember, I've been a part of the ET community for a while. Dr. Delbert Blair was one of the most knowledgeable people based on ETs, because he was in contact with the Alpha Centaurians, which you rarely hear about. He had contact with them from the 60s. Why is it that Dr. Delbert Blair was never invited to one conference? Why? Delbert Blair was one of the biggest contactees that was notable in the UFO community. Why was he never invited to a UFO conference? Okay? Why is it that my name comes up in more ET conferences? Listen, more ET conferences will talk about me on the backlay. I haven't ever got an invitation from one ET conference. You know why I gave my own conference? Because I don't have to beg to be in a conference. I will make my own conferences with people who are contactees like myself, regular people who are cute little monkeys, and we will do our own conferences. There isn't anybody I have to beg for. You know why they won't have me go to the conference? Because I will see their lies and I will call it out. Because if you're a true contactee, you would have a plethora of other contactees. If you accept Arcturians and Pelagians and different reptilians and insectilians and zetas and grays, that would mean you're open-minded, right? That would also mean that you would have a very inclusive consciousness, because you would have been exposed to so many different species that it would just allow you to be really prejudiced. When those beings are not in alignment with what they're saying they are with, they're not being very inclusive. That lets me know that they're not seeing and experiencing contactees, because contactees are the most, if you ever meet a contactee, a real one, they love all people. They will tell you all contactees, let me tell you something. How you know a contactee is because contactees are very, very unity consciousness. They don't even see color anymore, literally. They will be in corporate. They will hang out with lunars, brown people, blue people, everything, because they're exposed to other beings that are past this human form. So they have zero prejudice. When you still see beings that quote unquote are considered ET enthusiasts, and they've seen a multitude of different beings, but they still have prejudice against complexions, that means they're lying. They're not in contact with any beings. That's how I know a lot of these people are lying, because they still have the good old boys group running these UFO conferences, and they disallow contactees, regular people like you, because many of you are having contact with other beings. They're not incorporating regular people, and not many women as well. We don't want to just talk about everybody, not even women. It's very limited on how many women actually get invited to these, unless they're part or they're party to the misnomas being shared. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. It's rare. It's rare. And again, I want to say all, because there are people that I know for a fact, like Nancy Liger, who is part of the Zeta Talk. That's whose group I was a part of. Zeta, she's a true contactee. She's actually, Nancy Liger is never, I don't think many people talk about her. I really appreciate her. I was part of Zeta Talk before I was part of any other ET community, and I was actually on her show when when she had Sonia Barrett, who I invited to the conference on the show. That's how I met Sonia Barrett, because I talked to her years ago when my little one, I was nursing. I was like 11 years ago. Was it 12? Maybe 12 years ago. I talked to Nancy Lager, and I was in contact with the Zetas, and I had the picture. I think, many of you didn't know me then. I took pictures of the Zetas. So it was pretty cool. Thoth and Hermes and the Emerald Tablet. Oh, the Emerald Tablets. Chrissy, yes. Well, listen, the Emerald Tablets is all the goodies. And I think, I think one of the young ladies was doing a whole, let's see, sounds, what I had to talk about that. They were doing a whole Emerald Tablets breakdown. And actually, when you start breaking it down, actually, you start getting revealed in your veil. Like, you start seeing things in new peripheral. It's kind of cool. Love how I pop in when you talk about the Emerald Tablets. Does that resonate with you, lady? Does it? Yeah, we had one of the sisters talking about it, but it can get people a little, just like a flat camera flash, but no one at home. But okay, that's eyes. Um, I've had the flash in the house. That is when they're jumping into your dimension. When they flash in like that, that's because a being is coming into the dimension they're shooting in, and you actually get to witness it. Now that's happened in the house. That's when they're coming in and out of different dimensions. Okay. Now the type of beings that do that, I noticed that the insectilians do that more. Why? Is because the beings that I heard you've always heard me talk about the beings. Those are insectilians. Remember, I rock with the Andromedans, but they rock with a bunch of insectilians. So anytime that would happen in my house, I would hear. Now, I thought I was hearing the insectilian sound. Uh-uh. Sonia Barrett was the first person I heard because nobody else would say that they heard that. I was trying to find every broadcast to see who heard that sound. It was like, so one time I listened to a show with Sonia Barrett, and she said it. She said, "I hear this sound that sounds like cicadas, like that." And it was the first person I ever heard say that. So when I wanted her to come to the conference, the first question I asked her is like, "Sonia, what do you think that sound is?" She says, "I think it's the different dimensions you're hearing. I think you're hearing when a dimension is opened or accessed." That was so deep. Do you understand how deep that was? I wasn't hearing the sound of the beings. I was hearing the permeation of the different dimension rippling open. That was hot. Like, I hear like growling in my house. Only in FleurBrun's house. Yeah, like when particles move. Okay, okay, thanks. I know it's late. When it's late night, she said sage. The house is the house is cleared. Clear out the house. Clear out the house. Yeah. So she was the one who kind of put me onto that because at the time I thought they were in the insectilians. It wasn't insectilians. It's permeation through. And these beings, which were insectilians, were always watching over. They were watching me. Um, they used to. I remember I passed out. I don't think I told you guys. I didn't want to deter anyone from doing a fast either, so I probably didn't mention it publicly. But it was the It was the last time It's the last time I did the long fast for 21 days. I had passed out. Nobody knew about that, but I'll tell you now. It's not a big deal because I'm past that. So I had a friend flew up from California. We were doing like a whole series on vegan restaurants. Okay, so he flew up. He was really cute. He liked me, so we were doing a series on vegan restaurants. So I decided to fast because I wanted to be really raw for the whole, so I could be so illuminated and so on. So I was fasting, and I started off an agreed fast, but then I worked myself to a water fast. Now listen to me, family. I started off as a green fast, and then I worked myself to a water fast, and I passed out. Like I woke up out of bed, I like jumped out of bed. My little one got up, because I didn't because when you fast, you have to be very careful in how your body's going through detox. So I jumped out of bed when she got up, and I became disoriented. And then when I put her back to sleep, I felt crazy. So I went to the fridge to go get a green juice because I knew something was wrong. And then I ended up passing out on the ground. And I didn't know how long, but when I woke up from the ground, I heard it was, and I felt beings like around me, like watching me or waking me up. I don't know how I woke up because I hit my head really hard, but I had I had literally I could see the shadows of them around me and that sound. And when I got up, I was fine. I had a bump on my head. I still continue to fast. I'm hard headed, and I looked magnificent. I felt phenomenal, but I think it threw me off jumping out of the bed like that. So I'll share that with you. Yeah, I heard a light static hum in the background. Yeah, that's what I heard just a moment ago, right? You heard it? Listen, I've had this house. I had contact in my other home, which is our country home, where I had a vortex in my block. I had like 3.5 acres because I used to grow everything. I had a vortex in the middle of my yard. I used to see it, but here in this home, I've had like a lot of my experiences, contact experience. My first conscious experience was in this home. I'll be moving soon, so It's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to, because a lot of things have happened here. I've had, kind of craziness. Go and get some coffee. Don't get me started saying, Serge. I would get coffee. Listen, if one of y'all were down, if I was in New York, we'd find the one coffee spot. I'd be there because we're still up. What's that? It's 2:17 in the morning. I'm still energized. Listen, family, this is what I'm talking about. I am still energized. You love coffee too. Can you believe it? I'm still up, and all of you are up with me. But this is the thing. Do you even feel like I should want to sleep, but I'm energized. I kind of hear clicking, more sounds like dolphins. There's, like I said, there's a lot of activity by me, and it's always going to be the same. Yeah, I don't know what's going. Can't sleep. Won't sleep. Can't sleep. Won't sleep. Someone said. It's very interesting. Q. Thoughts on Q. I don't really research Q as much. Some people in my group are really big into Q. I personally think that some Cuban coffee. Don't get me started. You're at work right now, Jupiter. We're over here at like 2 o'clock in the morning. I personally think that Q was, and this is my opinion based, and I don't know all about Q because I didn't pay attention tons to it. But if it was my opinion, just from the limited information I have from Q, I personally think it was President Trump's people. Like it was President Trump, one of his homies, like one of his homies. Yeah, I think it was Trump who was Q, but I think it was his homie writing it or just doing the. That's what I think. I think it was Trump because some of the things that were being said were like leaked, and it was almost like a because Trump is like a loose cannon, to be honest. I really think, and people have an issue with Trump. I think Trump has done exactly what he needs to do. Um, I think he has been amazing in being a catalyst of change. I think because he's such a loose cannon and he's not run by anybody because he's egregiously wealthy, I think it allots for a lot more to be done without inception. Now, he has his own agenda because he does, obviously, okay? He has his own agenda. But I feel like more has gotten accomplished in making change with him around. It's not him making the change, it's us making the change. I feel like he's the catalyst. I think there isn't anybody else who could have done it. I mean, everybody else would have made us complicit. Like he's such. Listen, the Satanists and the Luciferian hate Trump. What does that tell you? There are people gunning. There are people. There are people like trying to take Trump out. All the celebrities, all the Satanist celebrities hate Trump. What does that tell you? Now that should tell you something. Now that man is, yes, he's a misogynist. Yes, he has mail for order brides. I mean, I'm not saying he's the pinnacle of perfection. All I'm saying is that what he is and represents is a catalyst for change, and it allows us to change. Like Obama, his whole premise was change, but there wasn't any change under his regime. Obama wasn't able to change anything because people had so much venom against him. The Congress was disrespectful. He didn't change anything. We got a lot of just resistance and complicity during his whole his whole what do you call it his whole what do we call it. There wasn't much that I can't tell you much that happened during Obama's reign. You know what I mean? But I could tell you a whole lot of what's going on in Trump. I could literally go back, like if I went in the future and I had to tell my children, I could literally tell you how many things changed with Trump, including all of our consciousness, everything that had to do with food, revolutionizing food, basically seeing all the misnomers in political system. All that happened under his, in his, when he's in his under his, whatever it's called. Obama isn't even who, Obama is part of, the system. He is, you get a yawn out of me. Obama is part of the old boys group. He's from the same bloodline. Many of you don't realize, whoever womb you come from, that's who you are. The womb determines your lineage, okay, because it's the extra mitochondria, okay. So who did he? His mother was a Kennedy. Wasn't she related to the Kennedy? People think that he was a brown man. He was a lunar. He came from a womb of a lunar who was part of that lineage. Just because he had a little tan to him, y'all said he was gonna be, this dude. He came from the queen's lineage. That's the womb he came from. I you know I you know I don't just like people because they're brown. you know. Hey Symphony. Oh, hey Symphony. I haven't talked to you forever. You're up. Yeah, we're up. We're doing late night in the East Coast. I know it's crazy. People are shocked I'm on right now. Yeah. People say Michelle is a transgender. I don't know. I don't know what she is, but I just know that I there's nothing that happened on that regime. They could be whoever they wanted to be. I was just happy to see a brown man with a brown woman, brown children, being, personified. That was the only thing that they did. I thought it was a healthy image of a brown man with brown, because you don't see that anymore because it's not propaganda. They don't really promote healthy brown people being with brown people, because that's a threat to the system, to the AI. They don't want that. So they promote everything other than that. So when you saw it, I thought it was cool to see the image, but it was just an image, and it probably wasn't true because I heard that he liked men. I don't know how true that was, but I heard he liked men. So, and then there you go with the whole thing with, Michelle Obama. So if he liked men, maybe that was something going on there. I don't know though. I have no clue. But I'm just saying it wasn't anything. Smoke and mirrors. Yeah, I don't trust anybody in the Listen, I, I trust zero. Anybody who gets to that height in the matrix when we're being ruled by draconians and Satanists and Luciferians, you can't trust them. If he's gotten to presidency, it isn't because he's pooping out rainbows, okay? It's because he is part of that lineage. So if you know that, then you know that there isn't anybody at the highest level you can trust. The only person, like I said, who I've ever seen as much venom from the Satanists and Luciferian is Trump. I've never seen, you haven't even seen that with Obama. There's so many Satanists and Luciferians trying to come for Trump. That's how you know that he might be somebody that you should look at. Hey, Free Spirit. Yeah, we're up. Who's up with us? We got 279 wonderful folks. You're probably not even from the East Coast. Who's from the East Coast on here? Holding it down for 2:25 in the morning. Check out, dude. Who's in the East Coast? Oh, Joan Rivers died the day. Well, see, tell him that his wife was a man. See what happens? From all over the world. East Coast is in the house. Who's it? Jeep, you're in the house? Oh my gosh, Aluzal, you're in the house? Oh, Tampa. Oh, y'all, everybody's up. New Zealand's in the house. Big Scouts in the house. Michigan. Oh, you East Coast people. Oh, wow. We're all up. I hope none of y'all have to go to work in the morning because you're going to be. Phoenix is in the house. Okay, you're more West Coast. Okay, West Coast, you're all okay. Toronto's East Coast. Oklahoma. Paraguay is in the house. Long Island. Look at all you East Coast people. Listen, get a nice hot cup of coffee in the morning. Listen, I'm advocating for coffee right now in the morning. Working college, DC's in the house. Look at you East Coast people in the house, staying up. At least Los Angeles, Dollface. At least you guys in Los Angeles, you're 3 hours previous to us. So you're late, but you're not that late. You're around midnight. We're pushing the 2:26 mark. I think we're gonna end the feed at 3 o'clock in the morning. What do you think? Massachusetts? Look at it. Oh wow. No sleep, but this is crazy. Like I want to build a house right now. Listen, that's how. And remember, I have to always state this during my lives because people always say that I'm on drugs and alcohol. I am alcohol free. I'm not drinking, and I don't do drugs. I am sober, and I'm drinking crystal water. This is the only high that you see me tonight. This is crystal water, and it's just a quartz crystal in the middle of my water. That's the only high I'm getting. I am drug-free and alcohol-free. I always have to state that because people always think, how can she talk that fast? I'm drug-free. I'm probably healthier because I am drug-free. You don't sleep? Hey, hey. Oh, thank you for the hugs in Yucca. Oh, I want some Yucca. You're from Yucca Valley? Yeah, you know I'm craving Yucca. I'm trying to stay away from all crazy starches. Because these mad people out here are trying to see no sleep, no appetite. Look, 5 months pregnant. Hey, congratulations, Mama. We got a mama in the house. Rainbow. Rainbow, I love your name. Don't worry, the baby will keep you healthy. Cheers to Rainbow. Beautiful Rainbow. I love it. You got a babies in the house. It's your birthday. Dollface, blissful anniversaire. Happy birthday, Dollface. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can do whatever you want. Buffalo's in the house. We have a listen. I wish we were all together because then we could build a house. You see, this is the kind of night that we can get things done. You ever want to do something like, if I had paint, I would paint my house. I would do things like that. I would do something. You just with your babies. That's a gift in itself. I think it's wonderful when you're with the babies for your birthday. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. Yeah, we could paint the house if we were here together. You broke the code. Don't see anything crazy right now, because unless we have somebody close by to help you out. Someone broke the code. What was it last? I forget that the broke the code video is still, people are still seeing it. I forgot that because I did that so long ago. People call. They literally lose their minds. And I tell you, don't break codes. Listen, I can't help it. Listen, I can't turn it off. That's what I tell them. I cannot turn what you see off. I can't do it. All I know is I created a cracking the code way that the words actually allow your brain to pick it up a certain way. That's all it is. Your perceivement changes. The way you perceive things changes. But someone called me the other day. They lost their mind. They were seeing they saw like a hunchback, like a hunchback shadow creature, like some sort of, that's what they said it was, like a hunchback greenish, like a goblin. I think it was more like a goblin. Okay, I think it is like that, like a goblin, like a hunchback kind of goblin that was like, that showed up, and it looked like a regular, like a grandmother, but it showed up like a goblin, and they freaked out because it wouldn't go away, the image wouldn't go away, and I told them, don't do these things in public because you'll lose your mind. Don't do it in public because people, you can get arrested. Like there are people, because if you see something disconcerting like that in a public arena and others don't see it, you can be locked up in the loony house. You got to do that in private. Look at people on TV. Do it safely from a very safe distance. Don't do that like on a subway or, yeah, you got to be careful about doing stuff like that. I always suggest don't do things like that when you're out in public because it can be frightening. It can. And you think and people think it's a joke because they don't really believe that it's true. They don't think that the statement will work. Remember, I'm a master at working language because English wasn't my first. I'm a master at it. That's why I manifest so well because I mastered the English language, the bastardized language. I know how to get around stuff. So when I made that code, that was a code that I worked on. That's how I know it works. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing, and sometimes it just starts off with seeing people's idiosyncrasies, like seeing your family members that you didn't know if they were liars, and then all of a sudden they show up as liars, or you start seeing like, people wearing makeup that you didn't know wear makeup, stuff like that. Sometimes it's not just reptilians; it's breaking the code is seeing the illusion, seeing people's illusions, past people's illusions. So it's not always that. You might just see people's things that you didn't know existed within someone, and you start seeing that. Be careful who you trust. They would love to lock you. Yeah, listen, yes. Especially if y'all have a husband who thinks you're too cool for school, and he's waiting for a chance to lock you up in a Benny ward. He's gonna use the opportunity that you're seeing aliens to try to lock you up and get the state to keep you there. Be careful with that. And be careful smoking some of this weed. Somebody said the weed. That K2, what's that K9? What's that weed in New York? What's the name of that weed in New York? I seen that when we were down there and our sea stars came to the restaurant. Is it K9 or K2, whatever it is? Oh my gosh, they look like zombies. Yeah, it's wild. I didn't grow up in the heroin stage of New York, so I didn't see the people like lagging around like this. But that K9 stuff, K2, thank you. Shay, I hadn't seen anything like it. They look wild. It looks like they're in a stuck state. Like, you know when you pose like this, but they'll stay like that for 6 hours. I've never seen anything like it. They'll stay in the same position, like in a contorted. When they start contorting their body, I know there's a demon in there, because demons are not used to human form. So when a demon gets in your body, they contort the body because they're not used. They've never been in a human body, so they don't have normal body movements because they're still learning themselves. That's also we got to be careful too. So when I start seeing them contorting their body in weird ways like this, like twisting their head, I know there's a demon in there. Yeah, gotta be careful with that. Yeah, you stay away from that because they can hop bodies too. They call that in Jamaica rolling calf or rolling cow. Yeah, be careful about that. Yeah. If you see a contorted body, you walk the other way. Don't walk past that demon because your light might be so bright. And if you've been sipping on the axe or you got something going on with you, low vibration, they can hop. And they can hop. And they don't always get inside of you. They can just sit on top. They mount you from the top. We talked about that on the show. People don't realize these entities are no joke. And they're catchy. And they like to hop. We've seen videos online. You saw it on YouTube? When you see the entity running across to the other body, it jumps out the body, the man's body goes like this. It's running over to another body, and the guy goes like this. That's real. Yeah, the piggybacks. This is piggyback rides. Yeah, you gotta be careful because they'll mount you. That's when you start getting your mind feels crazy. You ever get they're mounting you. They're trying to incept on your auric field. And if they're there for a long period, like if you take drugs or prescription drugs, you're feeding them what they need in order to, that's their tool to break through your auric field. Are we at the 3 o'clock mark already? No, we're not even 3 o'clock mark. Anybody sleepy yet? Let's do a Starbucks run. What time does Starbucks open? 5 o'clock in the morning? We get one person to go and get all the Starbucks. We'll tell you what all of us want. We'll just like order from all over every country, every state. I could deal with it. Listen, if I could drink a Starbucks coffee right now, family, I'd be in heaven because I'm already up. And I want to paint this entire room. Before I leave my house, I want to paint this entire room. Oh, it's so funny. You had 5 coffees today? Oh my gosh, that's why you're up with us. Oh my gosh. Flat white with coconut milk. Oh my gosh. See, you terrible, terrible folks, you. Oh my gosh, I have a love affair with the coffee. I told you I fell in love with my coffee. I like my coffee like I like my men. Tall, caramel, and really, really sultry. And cool. Too cool for school. That's how I like my coffee. You too? Yeah, I'm saying. Let me behave. It's FleurBrun after dark. Pineapple. Who's got pineapple? You drink ice and no coffee? Y'all got me. You got. We're hungry. Listen, I'm hungry for fruit only. I don't want any bread or anything. It makes me sick. Like everything. The breads make me sick. All the wheat. If somebody offers me something with wheat, I'm gonna throw it at them. Wait, I like my men with jump and Scorpio sexy. Ooh, Christy. Scorpio men are sultry, right? You like the Scorpio men? The Scorpio men are known to be salacious, like a monkey, right? We're gonna start saying monkey and get this monkey off everybody's back because the monkey is like the negative term. They keep using. We're gonna use it positive. We're gonna transmute that thought of monkeys. I'm gonna get a shirt made that I am the sexiest monkey in the whole wide world. I'm gonna get a shirt. I will mess with people's peace of mind. Can you imagine that? All I attract is Tauruses. Well, my Taurus, I try to rid myself of my Taurus. He just keeps coming back and back and back. Oh my gosh. I try to separate myself from my Taurus, but he's so darn infectious. You Tauruses, what was a Taurus in here? Y'all are like the most sultry, animalistic, like the best lovers in the world. I mean, I really appreciate you Tauruses, but it's just we just can't be together. can't be together. I said to her, I got too much. I make them lose their minds. I drive all earth signs crazy. I do, because I'm always acting. I'm always doing something wild. Yeah, I just poor earth signs are just like dumbfounded around a fire sign. You know, when I get with water signs, a water sign just cries about it. I get with a water sign that just acts overly emotional. I need to find another fire sign. I told you my twin flame is a fire sign, and I avoid him like the plague. Yeah, I avoid my fire sign, twin flame. I don't want to mate with my twin flame. It's too much. Too much fire. I'll never make a video. We'll just be burning up the place. I'll never make a. If I give him my twin flame, you won't see me for like 10 years, and then you'll see me again. Like, wow, FleurBrun, what happened? I got with my twin flame. Oh, that'd be funny. Oh, walk-ins. Ooh, Aries fire. Oh, we're still on here. We're still at 266. Who's up? You guys are up. Y'all are troopers. Y'all will be down with me during the pole shift. I can see the 266 in here. Y'all are balls to the wall people. Y'all will be down like with backpacks. We'll have our bug out bags. We'll have snacks. The 260. Oh, now it's 267. Somebody else jumped in here. The 267 people. We're gonna be them. We're gonna be them pole shift rockers. We're gonna be down with the pole shift. We'll be like shaking, rocking, and shaking. And they'll be like, oh, "How are you handling the pole shift?" We'll be like, "We're fine." We'll create a dance just for the event. Anyway, I don't know, family. I know. I appreciate you coming in. You got snacks? Gotta have snacks. You gotta have snacks. During the pole shift, I plan to. I don't want to do all my drive for the pole shift party. I think I'm gonna have pole shift party because I'm gonna have community. By then, I'll have sanctuary, and we're pole shifting it together. By then, I will have sanctuary online. We're gonna be pole shifting it together. We're gonna have lots of snacks. We're gonna have like some really cool raw dishes, and then we're gonna have some other goodies. Um, we're gonna have a ball. We're gonna have good music. We're gonna have bongos, hummus, fresh hummus, right? Fresh hummus. I make the best raw food. I remember I make the best because I'm a foodie. I'm a Caribbean foodie at that. So I make everything taste like goddess. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time in the sanctuary. We're gonna be dancing, naked and unafraid. Braziers will be banned from my community. I'm telling you now. If you plan to come to sanctuary, it is braless. I think bras have been. I think whoever created the bra should be taken and he should be thrashed over and over again, and he should be forced to wear bras with like big rocks in them. You would force him to watch the bras burning. He needs to have like his bra. I want whoever created the bra. He's probably gone right by now. Whoever he's reincarnated in, he needs to wear bras and then understand. You like bras are sexy. I think. Listen, I think bras have their moment, but I think they abuse our breasts. I think they do. I think they're. I like the little bralettes, but I'll get arrested for wearing one of those because I'm a busty bad. Some of you beautiful. Some of you have small, beautiful, nice sized cups. Mine is like a. Yeah, listen, there's a hurricane going on. If I wear a bralette, it looks sexy. It does, but I can't go anywhere with a bralette because I'm borderline obscene. My mate told me one time, he was like, my gosh. He was like, that's just, I was like, listen, that's what you get with. You get with a sultry Creole. That's just how I'm formed. It's all natural. I'm appreciative of it. This is what it is. I was like, you can't help how other people react. That's just what it is. You're going to have to get off that high horse. I appreciate my figure. I get fluffy. I just want to be less fluffy for the summer. So my fluffiness has to be an ample bosom. That's all. That's a very nice, kind way to say that. I need to be less fluffy for the summer and for the conference because I'm looking for a place. Before this, I was looking for the place for the conference in New Orleans. So once I get the place for the conference in New Orleans, then I'll put everything out. But I'm having an interesting time looking for a perfect place. I want a perfect place for the conference. Has to be beautiful. Free the girls, right? We need to get our, yes, like I said, if you live in a sanctuary, you are free to roam without your brassiere, and you won't be judged, okay? Because I'm sure there'll be a lot of busty bads there and other people, and it won't be a problem because there'll be people who are healthy. Yeah, bras are abusive. A steady ranch one of these days. Ah, steady ranch. Barry was invited back to the steady ranch. So you guys are going to see Barry. Barry was invited to the study ranch for the conference, for the one of the UFO conferences. So you guys got to check it out. He wasn't there last year, but he'll be there this year. I'm a Pisces. You love Leos? Ooh, Leos. Leos know how to lead. I like a Leo. I like Leos because they're very confident in leading. Even a very insecure Leo will still lead well. They will. They may have, issues with leading, but they'll do it well. Yeah. I do consent for that type of life. Yeah, right, Dollface? I need to check out Rudolph for Germany. Check him out tonight. Yeah. I mean, if people get nervous when they watch his videos, they get scared of him. Rudolph is harmless. Just don't watch his subliminal videos when he's playing like that stuff to try to entrain your brain. I wouldn't watch those videos. But you can watch him now. He doesn't do that anymore. He used to play like this weird entraining toning in the background to get to take over. Remember the tall white aliens? They're a little parasitic. They want to take over your brain. He was telling everyone he was taking over Donald Trump's brain. How do you think he did it? Probably playing those videos. There was one that worked though. It bugged me out. There was something he did, and that's years ago. And this will probably be the last year I'll give you. Years ago, he did an entrainment video, and it worked. And it worked on me, and I was scared. I actually got scared. That was one of the times I stayed away from his video for like months after it. He played some sort of entrainment thing, and next thing you know, I saw him in a bathtub, like a bathtub taking a bath. Like not, he was in there. Not, I didn't see anything naked. Like I didn't see his naked, but I just saw him in a bathtub, and then it disappeared. Literally in my sight. I was real. It was tangible, and I got scared. It works. Yeah, you got to be careful with those subliminal things because it works. And only certain people did it work for, because he did a whole thing on it. Yeah, not everybody saw and then he also had that creature that he had as an off-world creature that he used to have. Oh, I didn't get to see it, but Mystic from Goddess Sweets, she saw the creature he used to have, like a pet. He was half human and half something else, and it freaked people out, and he never showed it again. I never saw it, though. Someone saw it. I think some of you may have seen it. That's when he first came on. Because I didn't know about Rudolph from Germany until I heard about him from Mystic. Yes, he lifts weights with his balls. Oh, yeah, he did that video. You saw that? He's very German. Yeah, anybody been to Germany? German men, it depends on where they're from. They have a different propensity, the men there. Like if you go to Belgium, the men in Germany act very different than us in the States or other places. Yeah, they have some interesting propensities. I'm not judging them. It's just very different. Strong balls. She said strong balls. What did the creature look like? Editing reality. I didn't see it, but according to Mystic, she said it looked like it looked like a man with really wide eyes, like oddly, like almost like he had a disorder or he had some sort of genetic issue. Then he was humped over and he had like ridges on his body, and he looked animalistic, like he could have been mixed with a wolf or something. She said it creeped out, it scared. He took it down. He didn't keep that video up. I never saw it. I was out and I was gonna see it when I got home. He took the video down. We've never seen it again. So that's what she said he looked like. Yeah. Remember when he had the priest lock him up in a cage and they were trying to exorcise him? Rudolph has done some wild things online. You have to see. If you go back to his videos, he has some of it. The priest they had actually kidnapped Rudolph and they were trying to exorcise him from the entity that was inside of him. That was real because you couldn't fake that. They were on and they filmed it. It was wild. Then he was walking to the tombs of dead bodies that were dressed up like in a tomb. Yeah, he does some. Yeah, he's very he tells you he's got something inside of him because his real name is Carl, but he has a walk-in that's an alien. He talks about all that. He's intriguing, but I just said be careful with the videos because he has some videos that um, I wouldn't want you to see or get entrained. He's fascinating. He was helpful with the rainbow event, but I would say, like him, there's a lot of different agendas of all these Ichi groups, so you have to take that in consideration and use your discernment. He also has some of those cool shades. Well, you know where Rudolph got that from? He got that from me. Rudolph of Germany was watching my videos, and he started wearing the videos after I started wearing them. It was Mystic who mentioned that. She was like, "Do you realize he's watching your videos and he starts to wear the things you wear?" So he started wearing the blue cobalt glasses after he was inspired by one of my videos. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was interesting. Rudolph the copycat. Well, remember, I don't take anybody's copying. Sometimes people are inspired. You see somebody on, you could see somebody and be inspired. Swag jacked. Y'all are terrible. No, I mean, you get inspired. Like, you can see a girl wear her hair in a certain way, and then maybe you want to rock it that way. I don't see it as, I don't really get into that whole, the young generation calls, what do they call it? They say it's, what do they call this? Clout chasing. What is it called? Is that the same thing as copycatting? I don't know what that is. Is that the same clout chasing the same as copycatting? Is that what that means? I don't know what that means. So I hear a lot of people say clout chasing. It was interesting. I was like, clout chasing? What is that? Like, really? I don't think anybody. I mean, come on now, clout chasing? Yeah, I don't know what that is. I think cloud chasing means you're trying to be like someone, or you're trying to copy them, or something, or you're trying to take their subscribers. I don't know. All these terms that you wonderful millennials make up, I don't really pay attention. Cloud chasing is a social is wait cloud chasing is like social attention seeking. Shadow dancers. Gotcha. Oh, it's attention seeking. Oh, okay. So you want attention when you're cloud chasing. So you want attention from the outer world. Interesting. Yeah, I don't really, I don't care. If someone listens, I think, like, listen, that's what I'm saying. I think all these terms made up is unnecessary. It's like, if people watch your videos and they're inspired to talk like you and be like you or express themselves like you, by all means, let them do it. My mother taught me that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. I don't get upset. Yeah. Yeah. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. It isn't insulting. If someone mimics you, it's because they think there's something special about you. So I don't know why someone gets so angry when people emulate them. I think that's like someone saying, "Oh my gosh, I think you're the bomb.com. I want to be like that person." I think it's okay as long as it's not like single white female, and they start doing everything like you and taking your man and doing, that movie. I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie, Single White Female. That was a movie that'll flip you out. That was a good movie. If they start dressing exactly like you, start trying to go near your boyfriend with your perfume on, trying to give him fellatio when he's sleeping, that's when you could check the situation. That movie is crazy. We had a lot of good movies back then. You had like a lot of obsession movies, like Fatal Attraction was another movie. Yeah, we had a lot of weird kind of movies back then. Yeah. Anyway, family, I think we did it. We almost did it to 3 a.m. And you know what's sad about when I get off of this? Listen, family, this is the sad part. As soon as I get off of this live feed, I'm going to go look at videos. Listen, I'm going to go look at videos on YouTube. This is this sparkle energy has us all sleepless in Seattle. I'm going to go on this after we're done. This is why I don't want a maid in my house, but sometimes I need a maid in my house to put me in check. I require, I may have to require a mate so that I go to bed. Because if I don't have a mate, I don't have a mate in the house, I'm going to stay up all night. You're going to look at, see, you're going to look at, yeah, you're going to look at Rudolph's videos. I mean, I'm just saying, if I'm not going to go, I might as well get some good intel tonight. I'm going to be on here. And then I'm actually going to work out in the morning. I'm going to be on here until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm going to go work out for like 2 hours. So So I'll balance it all out. I'll balance it all out. I don't even know if I should keep this video on because I'm ranting through half of it. People make it to a certain point. I don't know if I'll keep the video on. Maybe I'll keep the video up. Yeah, some videos like this when I'm ranting, I'm like, why am I keeping the video up? Find the video of the turtle peeing. Oh, wait, what did you say? The turtle peeing on Rudolph. It's funny as heck. I didn't see that one. The turtle peed on him? Go figure. You have to pack and move in 4 days. Uh-oh, beach weave, you gonna have... Well, this is the time. Listen, you're sleepless in Seattle. This is the best time. You gotta pack. My gosh, you better get those boxes out. Get the tape of the boxes. Listen, this time when I move, I'm making a very basic move. I'm moving to... I told you, I'm moving in the middle of the woods in the jungle. My move will be very simple. Believe me, you. Yeah. No sparkles here. When will I see them? You haven't seen sparkles, do Barbie? Where are you located? They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Need weed, promotes healthy. Natural weed promotes healthy sleep. Yeah, I'm weedless. A lot of people experience the sparkles. You might say Quebec. I don't know if it could be a difference of your location, but we do have people seeing the sparkles abroad. We do. We have people seeing the sparkles in the Netherlands, actually in Germany, in France, in England, in Pakistan, in Israel, in the Congo. We're getting people in a lot of different places. It could just be your location. You might see it. You feel sparkly? Well, that's sparkles. Just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they're not there. The sparkly feeling, the fact that you use that term to describe what you're feeling, it means you're experiencing the sparkles. Yeah. So the sparkles is not just seeing it. It also has a residue of feeling with it too. Yeah. Sparkles here in Arizona. See, Veronica saw it in Arizona. Don't worry, you'll see the sparkles too in Toronto. Don't worry, it'll come. It's here, so you're feeling it already, and maybe the feeling of it will bring about the manifestation of it visually. But it's here, and everybody's experiencing it. I mean, there isn't anybody that I know now, and I haven't talked to everybody, but our family, but there isn't anybody really as much that I know that hasn't really experienced. A lot of people are experiencing it, but they're feeling it too. So we got to be careful because some people may not be able to visually see it, but they'll feel it. So take that in consideration. Oh, seeing sparkles. Well, listen, Aluna Ash had the video of her hair sparkling from last year in 2018. That tells you something. She saw that in 2018, the sparkles in her hair. It looked so beautiful. So the sparkles were here, and they probably with the residue of the rainbow event. But I was throwing up rainbows at the time. I had so many rainbows in my everything. I probably wouldn't even notice the sparkle because I was so engorged in rainbows. So, but she experienced it. So the rainbow, that sparkly event has always been around, but now it's heightened. So it'll be interesting. Nails are sparkly. Listen, I'm gonna wear sparkles. I'm gonna start just wearing them. I'm gonna own my sparkly self. I'm gonna take ownership of the sparkles. I'm not gonna let the sparkles take me. I'm gonna take the sparkles. Yeah. Yeah, her hair is so beautiful, Luna's hair. So she like shimmers of gold in it. It looks so pretty with the sparkles in it. Yeah. I hope they're having a good time in Hawaii. I wish I was there. That would be so much cool. I think they're in Kauai. Kauai. That'd be fun. All right, family. The rainbow wave. All right, family. I guess I'm gone. Sparkles and pixie dust. Hey, Carlos. All right. We stayed up. Wait, did we make our 3 o'clock mark? Wait. We have 4 more minutes. We have 4 more minutes. Yeah, I'm going to head out. I'm going to watch more videos. I love you, family. Thanks for joining and chatting. I think it's kind of cathartic that we could talk to each other about these things. I mean, it's not many people that we get a chance to have these conversations with. It's nice, you know. Remember back in the days when you could only talk to yourself, and if you told anything that we were discussing, they think you were crazy, and they just look at you. Remember those days? Anyway, I love you, family. Get some rest if you can. Good luck.